everybody. This is Roy Paith with CMG Financial. Today I'm here with Kim Hinske with RE/MAX Encore. How's it going, Kim?
Wonderful. Enjoying the snow, the weather here in my cozy house. So I'm glad to be on here and answer some of your questions.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you joining us for the Ask the Expert segment.
Absolutely.
We are going to ask Kim some questions regarding the real estate process here. Kim is an expert in the Columbia and actually really Middle Tennessee area. So I'm looking forward to her answers. So first off, biggest question, and I get it, you get it, I'm sure. When should I get a pre-approval if I'm thinking of buying a house?
Absolutely. And that's a great question. I have a lot of clients saying when and how do I get pre-approved? Getting pre-approved is your first step into home buying. You can either do that on your own, or if you're already talking with a realtor who has a lender, your realtor will hook you up with the lender. So getting pre-approved is so important because of it being number one on steps to do, but it also lets us know what listing price to look for when regarding a home. It lets you know what your monthly mortgage payment is going to be, what your interest rate is going to be, and what loan program you're going to have, since there are so many to choose from. Another good feature of getting pre-approved right off the bat is when we do write up an offer and I submit it to that seller, they're going to want a copy of that pre-approval letter to make sure that you're qualified and that you can buy their home.
Perfect. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So it's so crucial. And there's a lot of times that we think our credit is wonderful and perfect. Then we have our lender pull it and there's a oopsies in there. And with a quick fix, the lender will walk you through it. You get that blemish off and we just move forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. So, all right. Do I need so I come to you and I'm like, Kim, I kind of want to look at some houses, but I don't want to buy anything for probably another few months. Do I really need to get a pre-approval? Can't you just show me houses without it?
We can, but it's just not a good idea, because what could happen is we think that you could be qualified for a certain house range, show you these beautiful homes, for example, the $400,000 range. You fall in love with them, you've got everything set, you've already been decorating the house inside your head, and then to find out that you don't qualify for a $400,000 home, you qualify for a $300,000 home. And I can find those beautiful homes as well, but having that price range gives us the exact house target that we can show you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so Middle Tennessee and a lot of the country, new construction, there's not much inventory, so a lot of people are looking at new construction.
Sure.
Should I use a realtor if I'm out and I decide, hey, you know what, I want to buy new because I can't buy what I want in a used house? Should I use a realtor when buying new construction? Why do you think that might help out?
Sure, absolutely. Using a professional qualified realtor is important in any transaction that you're going to do, whether it's an existing home or a new built home. Regarding a new built home, a realtor will be able to still negotiate on the price, terms, and any and all upgrades that a buyer may want. The realtor will also walk through the whole process with the buyer from beginning to end, and they look for the buyer's best interest in mind. We also encourage them to get a home inspection where a builder would say, you don't need one because I'm going to give you a 1-year builder warranty. Well, not any house is perfect, so the home inspector will find something, and when they do, I will negotiate with the builder so that they fix it and everybody's happy and we get to closing.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. You think brand new, why do I need a warranty or a home inspection? But like you said, somebody may have missed something. I think I've even heard of ductwork not being connected in part of the house or something. So perfect. That perfect answer.
Absolutely. And again, just to confirm it even more, there's just absolutely no cost to using a realtor, especially with a new build. So why wouldn't you use a professional to guide you through the process, making it easier every step of the way?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. So how much what is earnest money and how much do I need typically? Is there a set number or how does that work?
Sure, that's a great question too. A lot of clients ask me that. So earnest money is also, maybe you've heard of good faith money. It's been called that at one point in time. Earnest money is money that ranges from $250 all the way up to $10,000, depending on the price of the home. Now, what this money does is it tells the seller that you're serious about buying their home. The earnest money is the buyer's money that gets credited towards the buyer's closing costs the day of close. If the buyer does not have to bring any closing costs to the table, that money is refunded back to the buyer. Everyone's happy. That money does get deposited most likely into the seller's title account, again, under the buyer's name. Now, again, it's your money, but you could lose that earnest money. And the way you could lose that money is you're going to be in a 10-day due diligence period, which is your inspection period. After that, if you decide to move forward and now you're looking at day 11, 12, 13, and so on, and all of a sudden you wake up and decide one day you don't want that house anymore. Well, you're not going to get that earnest money back either anymore. So again, that earnest money is the buyer's, but it could default to the seller's if you back out of the house after your inspection period time.
Okay, makes sense. Kind of like a deposit to make the seller know that you're serious about buying the house.
Absolutely. Eventually, there have talk that the earnest money will go away, but in the meantime, if you submit an offer, the earnest money will be submitted as well. It's not collected until your offer is accepted. The more the earnest money, the more serious you look to the seller, the more likely they're willing to accept your offer.
Perfect. Okay, so how much? I'm a new buyer, brand new, never bought a house before. I come to you. How much do I have to pay you? You alluded to it in one of the previous questions, but what is my cost as a buyer to retain a real estate agent?
Absolutely, and this is a great question. Zero, no money to use a professional, qualified realtor to work on your behalf. We work from beginning to end and it costs you nothing. Well, how does that work? Well, the seller's agent will pay our commission and we get you what you want.
Okay, so the seller it's negotiated with the seller's agent pays a percentage of the commission to you as the agent. So
yes.
Okay, perfect. So not a first-time home buyer. I have a house I need to sell and I want to buy a new house. Can I do both transactions at the same time, or do I have to sell my house first and then look for something else?
It depends on what realtor you talk to. Now, when it comes to me and my clients in today's market, it's very common for a buyer to need to sell their home in order to buy another home. So the way I do it is that we go look for a house, and the typical closing is about 30 days. So what I would do on a contract is that I would push it out to 50 days. That gives us 20 days to sell my buyer's home so that we get a buyer, everything closes on time. So what happens is that we go find you a home as a buyer. We put in an offer, the offer gets accepted. The day that it gets accepted is the day that my sign goes up on your yard, your house goes live on the MLS, and we start looking for that perfect buyer for you. So we find you a house first, then we list your house, and then we close everything together.
Okay, so you'll close on the sale earlier. Well, I guess if you need to, because in some cases, some people may not need to close one to purchase the other, but I would figure most cases that's the case, and then close on your purchase later in the day or at the same time.
Yes, so if you don't need to sell your house and take the proceeds to buy a house, then you can sell it beforehand, you can sell it afterwards, you can sell it whenever you want to. But if you need the proceeds to go ahead and buy your next house, I normally wait to list your house. Although I will put a coming soon sign on your front yard, I'll wait to make sure that you're in contract with your current house, with the house that you want, so that you don't end up homeless.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, don't want to end up homeless.
No.
So we see on TV that you get to look at 3 houses and you got to pick one. So how many homes should I look at? Is there a rule of thumb, or is it different from agent to agent or person to person?
Yes, and I can only speak for myself, and it is different from person to person. And I have found many clients, their first home on our first viewing, the very first day that we take them out, they find the house, they fall in love with it calls their name, they can see their family in it. But then again, I have other clients who like to take their time, and that's perfectly fine. And they could take anywhere from days to weeks to months, even up to a year. So it all depends on when you find that perfect house. You could find it day 1, or you could find it day 365. I work at your pace until you're happy, then I'm happy, and then we go forward with that.
Perfect. Yeah, and that's one of the things I like about Kim and the way she works is not pushing.
No.
We, as I like to tell my clients too, we move it at whatever speed you want to move at. So
Right.
if you want to move quick, we'll move quick. If you want to move slow, but we work at your pace. And as you just mentioned, it takes you a year to find a house. It takes you a year to find a house.
Yeah, absolutely. I have, I'm working with a couple clients. They're probably just over a year for looking for a house. And again, I always keep in mind that this is your house. They have to live in it. They have to love it. So I listen to my clients, I hear my clients, and I work at my clients' pace.
Yeah, that's what I like to tell them. Listen to your agent, listen to your lender, your mom, your parents, your family, everybody else is going to give you all kinds of advice. Some of it's great, but if they're not writing a check every month for the next 30 years, make sure it's the house is right for you, not everybody else.
And that's where coming in and getting pre-approved is so that you know that you can afford this home, that you're comfortable with the monthly mortgage payments, so that you're not in over your head, because you could love the house, and if you're in over your head, you're going to be miserable.
Yep. You don't want a bunch of hot dogs and mac and cheese nights.
No, you still want to go out and have date night.
So let's say I come to you, I've gotten pre-approved and I'm ready to look at houses. How long, let's say we find a house within a couple of weeks.
Sure.
At that point, how long does the process take?
Sure, absolutely. So to write up an offer, I do that in the same day. I submit the offer. Usually we'll hear back from the seller's agent within 24 hours. If your offer gets accepted, the closing is 30 days. So by the time we write the offer, it gets accepted, you're looking at moving in 30 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's quick. It could take a little longer if there's little fix-ups that you have to do on your credit report or something that's found. But the typical average day is 30 days. And that means you do have to move quick. You have to get the U-Haul planned up. You have to start packing. You have to start calling your utilities and lining all that up. So again, a qualified professional agent will guide you through the entire process. You don't even have to think or guess. We'll guide you.
So let's talk about searching for a home.
Sure.
Obviously people jump online, they go to the words that I won't say, the one that starts with a Z,
Yeah.
To look at houses. What clients that come to you, what's the best way for them to search for a home?
Sure. Nowadays, people love to get on and be proactive with their search of their new home. And that is wonderful. But a lot of sites that they do jump on aren't up to date. So I have clients sending me home saying, Kim, I love this home. I tell them, okay, let me do some research, and it's already been sold last week.
Yeah.
So that's the bad part about these sites on social media that you can check out. Now, I do personally have a website that you can log on, that you will have access to my personal MLS, which is Southern Middle Tennessee Realtor Association, and it gives you live updates on all the listings that we have. And I believe it updates it every 15 minutes. So what you see is what you get.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to be looking at yesterday's news,
No.
because then you're going to get all excited and think
Yes.
you can look at this great house and it's already sold.
Yes.
So last question for you. What are the benefits of owning a house versus renting?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. One of the main things about owning homes, well, there's a lot of great things about owning your own home, but and some people don't know this, is a tax benefit. You get a great tax benefit when it comes to owning your home, and you can talk to your tax accountant about that so that you can get the most out of it. Also, it's an investment for yourself. You're growing your own equity in your house as opposed to helping your landlord grow his equity in his house. Also, who doesn't like to remodel, right? Paint, tear down a wall, put in another bathroom. You can do that in your own house, but you can't do that in your landlord's house. Well, maybe he'd like that, maybe he wouldn't. You can get a fixed mortgage with owning your own home, where if you're renting, guess what's going to happen? Your rental price is going to go up, and it happens all the time. We have low interest rates right now, so you'll again be in a fixed mortgage. It's more affordable now because of that to own as opposed to rent. And the best part is that you get to call it your very own home.
What I hear you saying is either way, if I'm renting or buying a house, I'm paying the mortgage. It's just somebody else's if I'm renting.
Right. And again, in today's markets, because your interest rate is so low that you can actually get into a house for less than you would if you're renting.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of investors are coming in, swooping up inventory and renting it. And it could be anywhere from you're paying more, as much as $100 to $1,000 more than you would if you actually owned your own home. True.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Perfect. Well, Kim, I really appreciate your time. It's been a wealth of knowledge hearing from you. If anybody is interested in reaching out to you, what's the best way to reach you?
Absolutely. We have our website. You'll find myself on there. You'll find Roy on there as well, along with a couple of other of my team members. It's Kim, TN for Tennessee, agent.com. Again, Kim, TN, agent.com. On there, you'll have access to the MLS, a lot of valuable information, and I think you'll love what you see.
Perfect. Well, Kim, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. You are an awesome agent in the Middle Tennessee area, and I highly recommend anybody reaching out to you to start their home search, whether they're ready now or they're ready 6 months from now. And look forward to catching up with you in the future.
I appreciate it, Roy, and I'm glad you're on my team. We couldn't do it without you, so let's make 2021 spectacular for everyone.
You got it. You got it.